Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with Anthony Joshua, who's been captured on camera telling off a group of school students. So the backstory to this, according to UK media, is he was getting some taunts thrown his way about Tyson Fury, and Joshua reacted. And here is the clip of him effectively checking the school students involved.
Remember you're running your mouth, because when I bring people up here and I start cracking your glass jaws, none of you will like it. When your jaws start breaking, people start chasing you out of this uni, none of you will like it. Watch your mouths, because you don't know who you're talking to sometimes. I know, listen, all that public eye bullshit, I ain't into all that.
So in this sort of case, people have differing views, but it is one of those sort of age-old cases, and I guess in this day and age of social media, people will say whatever behind your back or online, but in your face, you're going to run the risk of someone like Joshua actually going up to you and sort of saying, "What'd you say to me?" and having a go and clapping back, and this is what he's done. Some people will say, well, he shouldn't have been triggered by this because they're just students, etc., but make of it what you will. But there's been varying reaction online, and the WBC champion Tyson Fury has weighed in saying, "I have this effect on the best of them." And he's posted an Insta story quoting the Mirror that had reported the story, saying Anthony Joshua told students he would crack their jaw after being heckled about Tyson Fury. So it's kind of one of these sort of storming in a teacup type stories, but it is interesting all the same. What do you make of this situation? Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua has said in a speaking engagement with the Oxford Union that for this upcoming fight with Alexander Usyk, the rematch, which is yet to be scheduled, this is the first time in my career I'd say we are specifically working on a game plan. I've based a lot of my success on raw ability, but the raw ability wasn't enough, so now I'm going to try out this game plan training and see how it goes. I plan to go back to the basics and take this guy out. So there's a couple more comments, but I want to jump in here and just say this is absolute BS, and I'm sorry, but Anthony Joshua is deluding himself if he thinks he's fought without a game plan and not trained to one. I mean, the best example is the Andy Ruiz Jr. rematch, where that was a specific game plan, box and move from the outside. Completely different strategy and game plan to the first fight with Ruiz. So if he's trying to say that Rob McCracken and his training setup didn't have him training to a game plan, it's absolute lies, because we've seen it in the ring. We've seen this play out. He is clearly trying to convince himself of certain things to give himself confidence ahead of this rematch with Usyk. But he continues, "I've always said, who am I without the belts? Even when sitting here, I'm not a champion right now. Even when I took that hit to Ruiz, it started unfolding that championship status. I wasn't the champion anymore. I'd already prepared myself for the stumbling blocks of the game that I'm in. It's about rebuilding, staying strong, and staying championship mindset even though you don't have the titles. Even taking that knock is just part of the journey I'm on." And that's true. You're not always going to be champion. You're not always going to be success, and you have to prepare for the failures. As you know, boxing can often, at the elite level, can be very up and down. You're not going to win them all. But off that first thing about not having a game plan and training for a game plan for the first time for this fight, absolute codswallop. A fight between Joyce and Joseph Parker looks likely to be now happening in September, if it is in fact signed. So Frank Warren, he has told Seconds Out that the fight is going to be potentially in September because Parker's training Andy Lee, his wife, is having a baby around the original planned date in early July. And Warren said that Joyce will fight someone else in the meantime. So, couple of things. Joyce currently training away in the United States with Ismail Salas. Joseph Parker not in camp at the moment, and he's been in New Zealand. He's been doing different bits and pieces. I've seen him out walking his dog on social media, going to events. So I think one of the things people have forgotten about this is this fight was never official. and I want to repeat that. So while they actually said on the Tyson Fury Dillian Whyte undercard during a sort of interview there that they were looking at this fight for July, it was also stated in the same breath that they were still negotiating. Contracts had not been finalized. It was not a done deal. But they obviously felt that they had to say something about a potential fight on that night because they wanted to get people talking about it. Even as late as last week, David Higgins was in the New Zealand media saying a deal had not been reached, but they were pretty close. So even though we've got a case of Frank Warren citing stuff around Andy Lee's wife, etc., you also have to say, well, I think the whole sort of the fight not being finalized is probably also a good indicator that the fight's not going ahead because it's not even official. And we know that why this will be, because Joseph Parker and his team, very hard negotiators, they will be trying to get every single dollar they can. And I said at the time, so I haven't really done any videos on this upcoming potential fight because it's not official. But also at the time that it was mentioned, I said one of the things that they've done by basically saying this is happening is they've given Joseph Parker and his team more negotiating leverage because they put it, time boxed it for July, and now they've had to walk that back. And if they're still negotiating, it's not official, has not been announced. I repeat, it's not official, has not been announced. Well, who knows what will happen? Maybe the fight won't happen at all if they can't strike a deal, which they have not done to this point. In the meantime, Joyce to fight someone, it's probably not going to be anyone good. His stablemate, though, Daniel Dubois, says he's going to make Trevor Bryan pay. They're due to fight June the 11th in the United States. Dubois saying, it's all about time and I've been waiting patiently for a while. It's been frustrating, so I'm glad to finally get it on. I will definitely take it out on him with controlled aggression. That's what works. I want to go in there and put on a boxing display and make a statement. I've been training pretty much non-stop. I've been in the gym and other guys have been having fights and I've just been working away, but now it's on and I can't wait to go out there and show what I'm about. Daniel Dubois on his upcoming fight with Trevor Bryan in the United States. Trevor Bryan currently the WBA regular champion, so that is a secondary title, although it is being pitched as a so-called world title fight. The promoter for boxer Ben Shalom says of a potential upcoming fight between Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter that it's an unbelievable fight, and this is a fight that is talked about for July. Shalom says it's a 50-50 fight on paper, and Fury is ready for that. He's been waiting for it. He was meant to fight Robert Helenius. That was what was ordered, but Helenius didn't take it in the end. Michael Hunter is one of those fighters that we all know how good he is, and he's never really reached the heights that we thought he could. Looking forward to that one in early July. It's a massive moment for Fury. Martin Piccoli is still basking in the win over Tony Yoka, being celebrated in his country of Congo, meeting its Prime Minister. So you can see here on screen, they are pictured here together with that WBC trinket that he picked up during that fight. And Martin Bakole with the statement on the side saying that he's met with the Prime Minister of Congo. Jeremiah Milton will return to the ring on June 11, so the 3-0 prospect is going to be facing Carnell Porter-Giles, who has a record of 2-0. So two prospects under five fights and less between them. Someone's O is going to go. Jeremiah Milton, currently promoted by Holden Productions. He has appeared on a number of ESPN and Top Rank shows. Unclear what's going to happen going forward, if there's still a promotional tie-up there, or if he's going to be going elsewhere. But returning June the 11th, this will be in Missouri. And rounding out this heavyweight news and notes mashup video, Tom Schwarz returning to the ring on the 29th of July. So he's another guy working his way back. Had a few problems, legal issues, was dropped by his former promoter SES Boxing, was accused of assaulting a woman. In particular, it was his girlfriend. He's already had one comeback fight, and now he's having another. So this promo poster saying the show must go on. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud enough and hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.